Of course, you know there's a question I have to ask you. You said you don't mind. It's the 15th anniversary coming up here of your legendary winning penalty kick and celebration. Do you get tired of being asked about it? That's the first thing. And then
No.
what does it represent to you now that so much time has passed?
Well, the answer is definite, emphatic no. I absolutely entertain that question a lot of times, but I welcome it as well, because what ends up happening, as I said, we get to then use soccer and women's soccer as a vehicle to talk about other things that are really important, like education for kids and health and wellness of communities, and impact people and organizations like Johnson & Johnson and the Care Inspires Care campaign that are really making a difference, who are going out in communities to really invest themselves in what's happening around this globe. And for me personally, that moment allowed me to sit with people like yourself and to have a voice and to do something good. So, even though that moment was strictly spontaneous and insanity and crazy and a dream come true, it's turned into a platform for talking about things that really matter.
What a lot of people don't know is about the challenges that you endured before even playing in that game. One thing, you tore your ACL, you tore your meniscus twice.
I've had some injuries for sure.
How did that affect your mindset?
Well, to be honest with you, the two back-to-back ACLs that I had over about, I actually missed 2.5 years of collegiate soccer prior to the World Cups. And I think what happened for me at that moment, it gave me a chance to pause. And it gave me, as a young person, time to reflect and have perspective, which I think when I was in it and it was going well, it's like I think a lot of people experience. It's hard to have perspective when things are going well. And to see how things matter or they don't matter, or what's important and what's not important. And so for me to sit on the sideline as a player who really always wanted to be the one to make the impact and be kind of like the MVP of the game, that seemed to be really important to me at the time. And having to sit on the sideline, it really gave me a chance to take a breath and see how important the players on the bench were, how important the game was to me, what were the messages that I was putting out, whether it was my body language or with my, with my comments. And it really gave me a chance to grow up. So it was a life change. Those are life-changing moments for me that led to all the great things that happened on the soccer field after that.
And people always say that. They say, "Oh, I wouldn't take it back." Would you take it back?
Absolutely not.
So you weren't even supposed to even have been on the top 5 to kick. You were 6, right? Correct?
Yes.
You missed a shot 4 months earlier in China.
Right.
But you switched to your left foot.
Yeah, not by choice. Not by choice.
Okay.
No, that's an interesting story, because when you watch basketball, for example, and you see the person come up for the free throw and they select their dominant hand. And for me, I'm two-footed, but
that's awesome.
But I usually take my penalty kicks with my right foot. But our coach, Tony DiCicco, he was just I think he was nervous, as somebody who doesn't have control over what's happening. You're just you're the coach, you have to sit back and watch it unfold. I think he was a little nervous, so I think he thought that China had been kind of watching us while we were practicing, which the practices were open, which was, fair, they could have come. So right before we went out, he's like, "You're gonna be a kicker?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." Like, I was normally a penalty kick taker anyway. And he goes, "Okay, but you need to use your left foot." And I think I was so exhausted that I was like, "Okay, I don't even know what you're saying right now, but okay, fine." And then I got to the center and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to take this with my left foot." But the good thing was, because I had practiced both feet and I played on the left, it didn't really faze me too much until somebody asked me years later, like, "You use your left foot?" And I was like, "You know what? I'd never done that before." But the good thing was, I think practice allows you to have that comfort.
There you go, for all the young players out there, right?
Absolutely.
Develop both feet.
Yeah, and I think, you have to rely on the thing. It's like anything else, whether it's in business or in sports or in school. The more you practice and the more you rehearse, the more comfortable you become and the more confident you are. And so then you take that variable out of the equation and you just do what you do naturally.